Welcome to From Beyond with your host, Glenn Boddice. Join me as we explore spirituality, self-help, and channeling spirits. Hello and welcome to From Beyond with your host, Glenn Boddice, spiritual medium. Thank you for tuning in for another action-packed show, as in this week's episode we're going to be discussing the topic of headroom. Also in this week's show we have the channeling from the world of spirit, which sees myself becoming a vessel for spirit to bring forward their communications and wisdom through. And then later on in the show we have this week's energy forecast reading, which will hopefully help you navigate your way through the course of this week ahead. So as I say, we're going to be discussing today the topic of headroom. Now, when I use that heading, I'm referring to decluttering your mind. As I'm sure you'll all agree, we all have many thoughts in our head and it can get rather cluttered. We can be thinking about things that we went through in our childhood or maybe adolescent times, and we have those memories that flood in all of a sudden from nowhere. And it causes our mind to go out of our present moment and be infiltrated by these thoughts. So we're talking about this process, the process of decluttering the mind and allowing some of those old belief systems that perhaps you have carried forward into your life from the very start, really, since you were born. Because let's face it, we've all been, I would say, shaped and molded by our society, the belief systems in society, and also the conditioning from schools, from parents, from friends, from family. All of these elements will have an impact into our mind and have some sort of clouding or fogging over our true authenticity. And in many respects, these elements do serve us because it helps to shape us as an individual, helps to shape our personality traits as well, as we decide what we do like, what we don't like. And through this level of contrast, we develop our own personality. But having said that, with all of these belief systems, they can form, I would say, a form of a prison. They can hold our mind a prisoner within itself, because we are telling ourselves, maybe on a subconscious level, that we can't overthink those boundaries or move beyond those boundaries, because that is not the norm, that's not acceptable, and that goes outside of the boundaries of what is required from us. So the reason why we're discussing this topic is basically to help you have that headspace so that you can be a better version of oneself, and also so that you can have that space to be more present in your mind, which enables you to connect in with your higher self and also build that bridge between this dimension and other dimensions, and also other beings, whether they're spirit beings or entities. By having that clarity and that space in your mind enables you to have this extrasensory perception of what's happening all around you in your present moment. So let's start by telling you that what would be to your advantage is start being the observer of your thoughts. Now, I'm sure we just accept them for what they are. You know, your mind's busy. I've got this to do. I've got that to do. Just be the observer of the thoughts with non-attachment to anything that is flooding into your mind. Almost as if you're watching a TV screen or you're watching something on the TV. You're not 100% invested in it, are you? But you're there, you're watching it. So allow yourself to go through this process as well. And by not investing in this energy, in these thoughts, in that mind chatter, that allows you to become a little bit more detached from the mental process. And this is where your strength will lie, because by observing what's happening in your mind, because let's face it, we've said this before on here, we're all transmitters and receivers of information. So if we can take a step back and observe what's going on, we can then start to see what is our energy, what isn't our energy, what is our subconscious belief system that has maybe been programmed within us through growing up, and what is our true authenticity. We're given that opportunity to witness this beautiful encounter. And so also recognizing, once you have that you've reached that level, recognizing the level of peace and serenity that the present moment offers you as you're more conscious about it. You're more conscious of your true essence, yourself. And when you observe the thoughts that are coming and going, you start to, like I say, have that developed sense of peace and serenity. Almost surrender as well. You're surrendering the need to be right. You're surrendering the need to control. And there's, I would say, a great deal of beauty in that when you discover that. I would also suggest that breath work, if you're struggling to become the observer of the thoughts in your mind, and you're trying and everything is not landing the way that you want it to, I would certainly recommend breath work. Now, I'll go into a little bit of detail what I mean by that. I'm talking about simply being more consciously aware of your breathing. And a technique that I like to share is to breathe in through the nose, big deep breath, really fill those lungs with air for probably 5 seconds, just a deep inhalation of air. And then what I would recommend is that you hold that air inside of your lungs for 5 seconds. And what you want to achieve by doing this is leave it in the lungs until you start notice the inside of your lungs starting to tingle. And at that moment, then I would recommend that you breathe that air out of your mouth, again, a long breath for around 5 seconds. It doesn't have to be exact, but, a long exhalation of breath. And what I would then suggest is that you allow this process of low and slow breathing in through the nose for 5, hold in the lungs for 5, breathe out the mouth for 5, and keep going through this cycle of breathing. And what you'll begin to observe by doing this is you'll notice all of that tension starting to be removed from your physicality. So from your torso, your shoulders, your jawline will start to relax. I mean, how many of us unconsciously are clenching our jaw and we don't know we're doing it? This level of breathing will allow that relaxation to come back into the body, taking all of that stress out. And if it helps you, maybe visualize when you're breathing that long 5-second breath out, imagine that you're breathing like a dark smoke out of your mouth, like a gray colored smoke. And with having this visualization, it will also help you release some of those tensions and toxins that you may have been holding on to for quite some time without even realizing. So the breath work following this process, like I say, will bring forward a level of calmness in your physical body, releasing all of those tensions. And what you will start to notice and observe is that some of these tensions will then be cleared out of your mind, mental pressures. And this will allow you to actually slow your thought processes down and become detached from them. Remember what we were saying earlier about you becoming the observer of the thoughts that are passing through your mind, as we are all transmitters and receivers of energy. So slowing the breathing down will slow the thinking rate process down. And if you focus your attention not in your mind, but on your chest, on your breathing. So focus on that rise and fall of the chest as it's coming in holding the breath and then going out, and then visualizing that grey coloured smoke moving out of your mouth, releasing all of that tension there. And by doing that, this will, like I say, detach you from the thoughts, and you'll start to become, with practice, because it doesn't happen overnight, with practice, it will allow you to become the observer of your thoughts. And this is a beautiful place to be, as it gives you a new perspective. You'll also be connecting in with your higher self by doing this, your true essence, shall we say. After all, like we were saying earlier, all the conditioning, all the rules and regulations that have been fed to us since birth, that is part of the mind and the psyche of the mind, where the higher self, it doesn't have any of those things. It's just pure truth. So this breath work will allow you to connect with the pure truth of who you are. And it's a beautiful place to be. It's quite a revelation when you get to that point. The next thing that will help you as well is, I'm sure you've heard many people talk about this, and this is meditation. Now, whenever you say that word to most people, you hear they don't want to put the time and effort in doing meditation. They don't like it. Some people find it boring, or they find that their mind is potentially really, really active and busy, that they can't seem to switch the brain off to meditate, to separate from the mind. And this is where the breath work, as I've been sharing with you, will come in very handy before you do the meditation, slowing that mind down. But obviously, carrying forward that breath work into a meditation will help the process. So slowing the breathing down. And you can do many meditations now. You can use guided meditations that will also help you stay focused on the exercise, rather than focusing on how busy your mind is and all the monkey mind, as we call it. The mind chatter starts to take over. So some people find that a guided meditation will help them to stay focused out of their mind in that respect. There's also music as well, meditation music, that offers various frequency tones and also technologies within that helps to almost hypnotize the mind into this state of relaxation and oneness. Again, to slow down that mind chatter, enabling you to become the observer of your thoughts. I say your thoughts, but really, as we was talking about earlier, you are a transmitter and receiver of energy. So are they really your thoughts, or are you just simply picking up on thoughts within the ether? These are questions that maybe you can answer yourself when you start to detach from the thought process in your mind and you become that observer. But generally speaking, meditation is a great practice for you all to have in order to have that mental strength and clarity. You can gain answers. So if there's certain aspects within your life that is vexing you, causing you issues or mental emotional stresses, you can gain inspiration through doing meditation. And it can also clear some unresolved mind chatter, clutter. You may have thoughts running in the back of your mind about events, situations that occurred in your life going back right through till childhood, or maybe, adolescence, or when you first started work, something like that, or even old relationships that you were in at the time. You may find that a meditation will help you reframe those situations, and not only seeing them differently, having them play out in your mind, but also reframing it so that you can extract the gold, the lessons in those situations, and then you can be in a position where you let those experiences go because you're showing that level of maturity and gratitude for them, and in doing so, you're observing the lessons within them, which will in turn give you that mental clarity that maybe you have been searching for quite some time. So the practice of meditation will help you do that, will help you find your true self again, connecting in with your higher self, and remove some of these old belief systems, experiences that are looming around in your vibration that have no business staying there anymore because you've outgrown the situation. But it's only through this process of showing a level of gratitude and unpicking the wisdom in those situations that will allow you to release them. But nevertheless, I always call meditation, I would say, when we pray to whatever our belief system is, the creator, whatever your belief system is, we're asking for help. We're asking and we're showing gratitude. With meditation, it is in my experience that this is us holding that space to hear and listen for the answers, for the inspiration, for the guidance, for the wisdom to come in. And we're holding that space and clearing that space in our mind so that we're able to do that without non-attachment or judgment. Because I'm sure many of you, when you've gone into meditation and you've had this experience that I'm describing to you, you've had some wisdom that's come in, and the next minute your conscious mind starts to question it and say, no, I'm making that up. That's not right. That's never going to happen. That won't help. And when this happens, this is an invitation for you to again refocus and recalibrate on your breathing and remove yourself. Don't become attached to the information. Like we were saying earlier, just observe as if you're watching a TV show. You're not invested in it, but you're just observing it. By doing this, you'll get more information, more help, more guidance. And then when you come out of that meditation, then I would certainly recommend that you take some notes of your experience there, some of the answers and inspirations that you received in that meditation. At that point, then you can analyze them further. But I would say, whilst you're in meditation, just be the observer and go with the flow with that energy. Something else that I always recommend, and I can't recommend this enough, and I just, on some level, I wish that I could spend more time in doing this. And this is getting out into nature. Now, it doesn't matter if you live in a city or busy town, wherever you live, there's always a green belt of land somewhere in that location. So I would certainly recommend that if you can spare some moments, that you do spend some time out in nature, because this can also help you release some of those attachments in your mind and clear some of that clutter. And how many times, I know that you've all done this, you've gone out in nature, you've maybe had a stressful week at work with the family or whatever you've been up to. And as soon as you get out in nature, everything slows down, doesn't it? Your breathing slows down. Your mind, that racing round in your mind, that pattern there is slowing down. And in doing so, you feel that releasement, that calmness in your physical body. And you begin to connect in to your true nature, your essence. And you become calmer, your breathing changes, your blood flow and blood pressure changes as well when you're out in nature. It allows all of these pressures to be released through that process. So it's very important that you do, at some stage, when you can, get out in nature, because the benefits of doing that, both mentally and physically and emotionally, are tremendous, more so than what you realize. But also, it allows you to be present. It allows you to be unattached to your thoughts. And it allows you to be in the here and now, rather than thinking about what happened last week and all the stresses of last week. It allows you to be in your present moment consciousness, which in essence is where the true potential of your power lies. As you've heard myself and my guides say many times, time is merely an illusion. Everything is happening in the now. So being present means that you're connected to the truth of who you are, and in the present moment, this is where you can make choices this is where your power is. You can make choices where you're going to focus your energy and attention on. But what you will notice is by doing all of these things that we're describing today, you will start to develop a natural, non-biased, observational viewpoint. In other words, you'll start to sit on the fence with a lot of things. So, for example, if you're having a conversation with a family member or a friend, and because you're either close to them or related to them, they're sharing you their thoughts about their situation, maybe a problem that they're going through. At one time, you would naturally be on their side. You would naturally be on their side because they're blood, their family, or their friends. But what you will start to notice by having this headroom is you'll become more neutral. You'll see the bigger picture when they're telling you their circumstance. You'll hear what they have to say, what they've experienced. And also, you'll start to consider the other parties involved, or the circumstance and the people and the energies and the thoughts and the potentialities of everybody else in that situation that they are describing to you. And with doing this, you'll extract more wisdom, more guidance, more sensible help for that family member or that friend that's having this discussion with you. They may look at you a little bit strangely to begin with because they assume, because you're a friend or a blood relative, that you are on their side automatically. And they could tell you anything and you would say, oh, yes, you're right in doing that. But in actual fact, you'll develop this technique, like I say, where you'll become neutral and you'll start to see every side of the coin, so to speak. It makes you more well-rounded as an individual, and you don't tend to assign your vibration to any one given situation. Instead, you have that viewpoint that there's a win-win-win-win case scenario when you start to operate from this level of being. So in other words, everybody wins, everybody experiences a blessing within that experience. So it's a beautiful thing. And your family and friends will notice this change within you when you start to give yourself that headroom back and do the inner work and clear the mind out. As we say, it will give you mental clarity. And in having this mental clarity, having that non-attachment, being the observer there, it will allow you to connect in with your higher self, your true essence of who you are. So in other words, you won't have any attachments to any of the belief systems or subconscious programming that has been filtered through you since childhood, really. So by connecting in with your highest self, you'll start to get more wisdom. You'll start to have a level of calmness. You'll have a knowing about what you need to do in your life and how you need to do it. You'll have more of an acceptance of this inspiration coming in. But also with this mental clarity, it will give you the ability or the opportunity to start to connect and link in with other vibrations. And I'm talking about either spirit beings or entities or, just different realities. It will give you that opportunity because you've created that space. You've done that clearing out, nobody else, and you've remained present. It will give you that space to then witness some of these communications coming in your mind. And I would describe this process, obviously I'm coming from the perspective of being a medium, as it's like a thought that's coming in your mind, but it's in a different vibration, a different tone. Now, we all understand our own inner monologue. We have like our own voice in our head that we can assign with our own thoughts, and we know that that's our own thoughts through the process in which it occurs, or at least we believe it's our own thoughts because we're familiar with that tone and the way it's delivered. What I would suggest when spirit come in and they take that opportunity to communicate through you, there will be a different tone, a different level of communication, a different feeling when you observe and become the observer of the thoughts that you are transmitting and receiving, you will recognize this change in that vibration and the way it is presented to you. And what I'm saying to you is this is communication, either from spirit or other beings, or from other dimensions. And not to judge it, don't be frightened of it, don't be scared. Like we were saying earlier, just allow it to play out, observe, and just allow it to happen with non-resistance. And when you do this, you will get more of a strong link and connection, and this communication can then begin to unfold, potentially more than you've ever imagined that this could have even occurred to you. So allow yourself to observe this information, recognize what's going on, rather than coming from that perspective of fear or, oh, what's happening? I didn't think that. Take all of those thoughts out of your mind and just be present and observe what's going off. What I would suggest at this stage, once you've got used to that energy and that communication from other beings, whether it be spirit or entities or other dimensions, then this is where you can start to use that internal monologue. What I'm referring to there is that voice in your head that you assign with you every time you think, and you know that, yes, I've got this to do tomorrow, I've got that to do tomorrow, and you hear it in your mind, don't you? I'm talking about that, using that part of you to then question some of this communication that's coming into your mind. And, you can ask leading questions so that you're carrying that energy flow, that communication, and you're holding that energy within your mind there by doing that. If you're just going for a yes-no answer, obviously that's going to stop the energy and the communication dead in its tracks, so to speak, isn't it? So you're wanting to ask more leading questions where you will get a response from either that spirit being or that vibration there that you're observing in your mind. And what I would say, after you've asked that question using your internal monologue, just hold that space and observe. Don't have any attachment to the answer. Don't go trying to make an answer up. I think they're going to say this. Just clear your mind. Don't think. Just observe. And by being in that vibration of observing, this is where you're going to pick up on the answers from either that spirit being or the energy that is connecting with you. And obviously this is the start of mediumship, isn't it? It's clear audience in essence, really, because clear audience is about clear hearing. And it's not just referring to hearing with the physical ears, it's also referring to hearing the correspondence in your inner ears, in your mind, via the thoughts, via that interaction that's coming in there. So it's, I would say, the start process of this happening. So just go easy on yourself. Practice if this is something that you're wanting to do. And with trust, with development, with protection techniques, with intentional prayer, and with setting intentions before doing any of these spiritual works, then over a period of time, you will build up a level of trust with the techniques that I've described to you. And potentially, this can help you if you're wanting to take these techniques out into a paranormal investigation. They can help you connect and link into maybe spirit beings in that location, whether they be residual energy, trapped energy, earthbound that haven't moved on, or whether it's spirit beings that are coming in, passing by, and just checking in on that location. By clearing the mind and having that headroom, using all of the techniques that I've described to you today, will enable you to potentially have that ability to have these interactions with these different vibrations, these different dimensions as well. So it's very beneficial, not only for you mentally, emotionally, in your day-to-day life, but it's beneficial so that you can interact with other dimensions and be that bridge of light in order to help and heal. you will also be, I would say, you'll be in a position where you'll be able to receive and hear inspiration from your higher self, guidance, where you need to move in the next chapter of your life, who you need to move with. You'll get all of that inspiration and guidance. You may be lucky enough to get some labor-saving inventions coming through. Now, I'm not talking about making loads of money from them. I'm talking about helping you day-to-day life there from some of these labor-saving ideas that you have that have been gifted to you from your higher self. So by having that headroom, it benefits not only yourself, but people around you as well. You'll be able to help them out and also tap into other dimensions. So now we're going to move into the next segment of the show, which is this week's channeling, which sees me becoming a vessel for Spirit to bring their communications and wisdoms through. Slightly before we go into that, though, I'd just like to share with you what I've observed occurring over the last week or so. I don't know if anybody that's listening has gone through this as well, but I've certainly noticed that time does feel like it's speeding up. And before we know it, the weekend is here again. And it's almost, there's something occurring. And also I've been finding personally that I've been seeing more flashes of light, colour from Spirit. I would describe these flashes of light of chalk dust like light and pastel shades. Mainly I've been seeing blues, gold and purple colours. And these are coming in to my not peripheral vision, but my full frontal vision as I'm just going about my business. The next minute I can just see this quick burst of light. I've also been observing this week a lot of interactions, very subtle ones, from my family members from the world of Spirit. And I've been drawn to look at photographs of them. I've also found myself speaking of them. I've also found myself observing their fragrance being in the room that I'm located in. And there's just been very subtle changes with this, but I'm wondering if anybody else has been going through that over the last few days. You've heard me say before, there's no such thing as coincidences. I prefer the term synchronicities. So I feel as though there's this interaction from the world of Spirit and this organization behind the scenes where all of these things are coming together because the energy, the week seems faster, our vibration is heightening, we're heightening our senses, we're more able to interact and observe these new, well, I say new, but they've always been around us. It's the fact that our instrumentation, our physical body, and also our energetic body is playing catch up to the point where we're more observational and we can spot energy interacting with us. I've also had a few songs entering my head over the last few days there. And I always advise people, when you do have this, to go and investigate the lyrics in that song. There'll be a message in that. So I've had a lot of that personally occurring over these last few days. And also I've noticed like a thick energy soup whilst I've been around my friends and colleagues there and needing time for readjustment, to rest and to recalibrate because of this draining of my energy being around people. And I don't wish to sound negative by saying this. I just feel as though that the vibration that I carry and that I hold and allow to come through is going far and wide wherever I happen to be, and it's helping other people to tap into their own ascension symptoms and also to help them. Unknowing to me at the time, the energy is just working behind the scenes. And so I've been finding, after having those interactions, that I'm finding myself a little bit drained and a little bit tired. After the recalibration and the rest, I'm fine. I'm back on point again. But I've been noticing that over the past few days or so. So anyway, we're going to move now into the next segment of the show, which is this channeling from the world of Spirit, which sees me becoming a vessel for Spirit to bring their wisdom and communications through. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this week's channeling. There is a distinctive change occurring on your planet at the moment. Many of you are experiencing these changes as we speak at this moment. And these changes are coming in thick and fast. And what you'll be observing is situations and people moving out of your life. And you will find yourself going through a period of readjustment, of realignment. And within this period, there is time and space for you to reflect on what has occurred in your past and release those vibrations so that you can be more open in order for the new timeline to be blending in with you. Now, within this period of time, there will be elements of frustration coming from yourself as you'll feel like your life has been put on pause. And this is no fault of your own. This is simply in grand design with the universal energies that are manipulating and shifting these situations for your highest timeline. Now, a lot of these circumstances and people and projects that have been involved with your timeline will find themselves going on a different trajectory, a different timeline themselves. And this is why that coupling, that interaction with those individuals has made it separate ways. It's simply because you are all moving in different directions, obviously. But we would like to give you some guidance upon this period in your life. You will find it most unusual because of the periods of time of inactivity. May cause you to overthink or stress or even worry. And we say this is just the old patterns coming up to the surface. For you to be more relaxed, have a more relaxed approach and more trusting approach and be open. We say that there's no way around this situation. There's no fast track at all. Only the fact that you go through it. You go through it, you allow, you release, you let go, and you stay vigilant and observant as your life is on the cusp of changing into a magnificent timeline. What you will find is this clearing is allowing you to connect into one of your highest timelines, where you'll find it a lot more easier to manifest the things that you desire into your current reality. Also, it's creating space for the universe, as we say, to bring in some beautiful bounty for you. Things that you have never imagined, that is beyond your capability of imagining, will start coming into your life. And we say you haven't imagined it because you've lived a life where your circumstances have dictated your outcome, where at this moment you're moving into a timeline where your ideals and your highest good and your desires will dictate your outcome, and it will be most welcomed, but there will be that element of suspicion around these changes as they come in. Now it's going to come in thick and fast to the point when it does start occurring that you won't have time to question and pull that vibration down so that you're back in the old timeline. Instead, it will happen. There will be a period of time, a quick, brief period of time of acceptance for this adjustment. And then once you hit that first acceptance, there'll be more fluidity, more prosperity coming your way. And you'll just accept it and accept it and accept it. And then this will see you venturing on your new timeline, this level of openness and acceptance. You will find during this time that you'll be at peace with yourself. You're not at loggerheads with your thoughts, with your desires, with your emotions. You're just being in that vibration. And this is going to help you flourish and grow within this new timeline. Also, what's occurring at the moment with a lot of you is you're finding it increasingly difficult to be in, shall we say, places where there's lots of different vibrational forces at play. We're referring to crowds of people, an abundance of people.
you're finding it increasingly difficult as you're picking up on all of those vibrations, and it's causing you to feel overwhelmed and also your energy feeling drained from you. We say this is going to change as you evolve on this new timeline, and you will adjust into the frequency so that you are protected, but also you are able to feel your way through this vibrational highway. So do not worry. At the beginning stage, you will feel overwhelmed and a little bit drained, but then you will move into an area where you can accept and be in those vibrations and make an impact on those vibrations by adding your collective consciousness and awareness and vibration into those energies. And what you will find is you will carve out a pathway, a vibrational one, for others to follow in your footsteps, for others to be themselves, not being apologetic for who they are and their beliefs and where they're at in their life. You'll find, as you observe moving forward, there will be a lot of people that will be expressing their truth and their divinity from themselves. This will create a new timeline in your infrastructure on the earth plane. It will also allow those natural leaders to rise to the surface, where they design and bring forward a lifestyle that is in alignment with them and those that align with their vibration also. It gives them that permission to be themselves and excel in everything that they do. These people you may describe as mavericks, as rule breakers, as way showers. They will have the courage and will speak the courage of their convictions, and they will have a certain glow about their energy and a twinkle in their eye that is not to be missed. You will find yourself being part of this new awakening that is occurring on your earth at this present moment in time. We want to tell you that you will all be safe and well and protected as you march on this new timeline. We also want to assure you, those that are listening, that have a yearning to meet their romantic counterpart, we assure you that at this timeline they will meet you at your vibrational essence. And it is vitally important that you speak and live your truth, as this is the only way that you're going to make this connection and establish vibrational exchange in harmony. So to summarize, you are going to be more than okay. You're going to thrive rather than survive in your life, but you must remove that old belief system of lack and that old belief system of worry and intimidation. And instead you must listen to the vibration of abundance, of thriving vibrational frequencies flowing through you. And you must follow that timeline and create your new dimension within your earth vibrational existence. So thank you for listening to us. We hope this information finds you well, and we send you all our love and healing and devotion at this transformational part of you all at this moment in time. We send you our love and healing. God bless and goodbye for now. Thank you.
Again, another fascinating transmission there from the world of spirit. I really enjoyed this week's transmission as they raised some very important information that I feel we all need to know at this moment in time. And in fact, ahead of doing that transmission, I set the intention for what do we need to know? What do we need to know as a collective? And that's what Spirit brought through. So I find it fascinating. They talk about these changes that are coming into us as things are moving in and out of our life. And we've just got to relax into that vibration by being present and allow these adjustments to be unfolding behind the scenes. Also, the element of frustration while this is happening, because we have to release all of that element of control to enable this to flow through us. And it's preparing us to get us on our highest timeline. and just to embrace periods of inactivity whilst we're going through these changes. You know, we may feel bored, agitated, frustrated. Just allow yourself to be present and go through that, as that way it will occur a lot easily by doing that. Trust and also be open to new things entering your life as well. And remain observant during this time, this transmission, as there will be a lot of subtle changes occurring, and it is up to you to observe them and just be okay with these things changing. It was interesting to hear that our manifestations are going to speed up as we align with these new frequencies there, and I'm sure that will make a lot of people happy. So there was talking about your desires, your preferred desires, what you're wanting to manifest, and the outcome will manifest as you focus in on those desires, and it will speed up a lot quickly. As they've said, the energies are speeding up, so those resistance thoughts, emotions will be let go of during this process. And you're just to observe and to trust the situation as you're moving in to your highest timeline. Encouraging to hear about more prosperity coming our way, and we're not to push it away. I mean, some of us do that naturally, and it's telling us to actually adopt a new stance on that one, be more open to receiving, have an air of expectation, have an air of expectation as these new changes are coming in. Fantastic to hear about. We're also going to be more sensitive, picking up on the energies around us, and this can have a positive and negative effect, but by being observant, by being resilient, and also setting boundaries will also help us move through with more ease and grace through this period of time. And also live your truth. Stop diluting yourself, as you will be inevitably the best version of yourself, as the intention of this is to thrive in life rather than survive. So very fascinating channeling them from Spirit. I really enjoyed that. So we're going to be moving on to the next segment of the show, which is this week's forecast reading. So hopefully this will help you navigate your way through the twists and turns of this week ahead. So sit back, relax, take notes if you wish to do so, and enjoy this week's forecast reading. Hello, my name is Glenn Boddice and I'm a spiritual medium, and welcome to this week's energy forecast reading for the week commencing Monday, the 10th of June, 2024. Now, those of you that have watched me work before will know that I connect with my spirit team and my spirit guides and helpers, and also consult the wisdom of the Angel Tarot cards. So what I'm about to do is just shuffle the pack and allow a card to come out for this week's energy forecast reading. And this is your card for this week's energy forecast reading. Now I'm going to link into the vibration of that. Well, first of all, I'm being told that this week we'll see lots of big changes coming into your life. Particularly one of them is you feeling lethargic in your physical body, almost like flu-like symptoms without the sniffles. So those aches and pains in the muscles, in the legs, in the arms, in the torso there. I'm being advised to tell you, when you do experience this, do know that this is nothing medical. This is ascension growth symptoms. That's what my guides are calling it. And I feel what's happening there is there's going to be some reconfiguration in your DNA and also the structures within your energetic body this week. When you do feel this, I'm being encouraged to tell you to, if you can, take that time out to down tools and just rest and have periods of non-activity. This will help you move through this transformational change a lot quicker by doing that. Also, I'm being advised to tell you that this week is going to also bring forward some changes with your communications with people, particularly people that you're not familiar with. You'll find yourself not being able to hold back with your communications. And what I mean by this, you'll walk by a stranger and instantly you will just talk to them. You can't hold it back anymore. This is all to do with the ascension codes and the high vibrations coming in. And it's all about you creating a community and allowing people to feel part of a community that hasn't felt like it's been there for quite some time in and around you. It doesn't matter where you are in the world, this will be felt and experienced by you as these changes are coming in. I'm being advised to tell you that also this week we'll see you feeling agitated, because although you'll be experiencing these ascension symptoms and feeling like you need to rest, also I'm being told that things will be moving in your life. And I'm talking about projects, opportunities, new people are coming into your life. However, you'll be wanting to run before you can walk with these situations. And my guides are making me feel that this is why these ascension symptoms are coming in at the same time, so that you don't over egg the pudding, so to speak. You don't do too much, and you allow these new opportunities and circumstances to unfold naturally. If you were to intervene and force things to occur and unfold, then this is going to be your own downfall and all your own undoing. So please just take one step at a time and trust your intuition more so this week. There's also going to be an expansion in your heart this week, where it's going to naturally occur, where you're going to open it up a little bit more than perhaps what you have done. And you're just going to be going with the flow more so, instead of judging in your mind and assessing situations in your mind, connected with your love life, connected with your family and those that are close to you. Instead of overanalyzing these things, I'm being told that you will be going with the flow more so this week and trusting that wisdom and that magnetic calling from your heart there. Also, watch out for you having to deal with paperwork this week. Very important paperwork. And I feel as though you will get through it. You don't want to do it, but you will get through it. And actually, it will be easier than what you have given yourself credit for. So let's turn over the card and see what the card has to say for you. At the top of the card, we've got the angel number of number 17. So I'd like you to research the angel number of 17, as I feel that will give you additional content and information. I'm also being advised to tell you to add the 2 digits together. So 7 plus 1 is 8. And research the angel number of number 8, as I feel that that is also very prominent this week. Underneath that, it says the star. I feel as though this is you moving into a new vibration, as we previously said, where you're accepting your own divinity, where you're accepting your talents, your abilities, instead of putting yourself down, instead of allowing yourself to be second best. You're just going to accept yourself for who you are. And by doing that, you're going to shine more brightly. More opportunities are going to come your way, and this degree of acceptance is going to just open doors for you. Underneath that, it says Archangel Jovial. So let's feel into the vibration of that. To me, it represents, I'm just hearing rest, 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 and get rid of clutter, get rid of debris, mentally, emotionally, and physically. And your life will be a lot more simpler, and it will flow more with ease and grace. Underneath that, at the bottom, the inscription reads, a dream come true, believe in yourself, the end of a difficult situation. What I feel this represents, like we were saying earlier, opportunities are going to find you. They're going to come your way this week. However, you'll be that excited, you'll be wanting to run before you can walk. The card is saying don't. It's saying, I feel also, like we said previously, because of these ascension symptoms, that you need to take one step at a time and just show that level of gratitude, and all will unfold for you in divine timing. So dreams are coming into reality, as the card would suggest, but I just feel that you haven't got to rush it or force anything. Go with the flow. So let's take a look at the artwork of this card. Around the edge of the card, we've got this colour of purple. To me, that indicates protection from the angelic realm. It also indicates highly spiritual times this week, where you will be more noticeable of your senses, what you feel, what you taste, what you smell, what you touch, what you think, your emotions. All of these spiritual faculties will be heightened this week. So don't be alarmed when you do see something out of the corner of your eye, or you get a particular aroma that enters your vicinity. out of the blue, and it reminds you of a loved one in spirit. I do feel as though that there's a lot of spiritual influence coming forward this week. So again, relax, rest into it, and just observe. And I feel as though you'll get the inspiration, the wisdom that you need to help you move more slowly through this week and take all the facts and all the details in. Looking into the artwork of the card, we've got this divine feminine angelic being with her wings facing down. That's talking about your sensitivity. It's talking about being balanced as well, being observational of the gifts and abilities, the sensitivity, what you're feeling, what you're potentially picking up emotionally in and around you. It's also indicating a time of rest as well, but to be prepared for changes coming in on the horizon, but to rest into these new opportunities and also ascension symptoms that you are going through. Now, this lady is holding 2 jugs or cups of water, and she's pouring them out there. So we said this earlier about you letting go of emotional attachments, clearing any clutter in the mind or in the physical sense there as well. It's talking about you letting go, lightening the load so that you can vibrate a lot more higher, you can flow more in life, and you haven't got these debris, this weight that you've been carrying around for such a long time. Instead, you're letting that go. In this sense, I feel as though it's going to be more emotional than anything physically. So with this being the case, when emotions do rise up to the surface, don't judge them, don't hold on to them, just simply let them go. It's a dark setting, and as you can see, there's a star in the background. So this is indicating that there is hope, there is new opportunities coming your way, and it's time to stop resisting change and to go with the flow. So that's what I picked up for this week's energy forecast reading. Thank you for hearting, liking, commenting and sharing. If you've enjoyed this reading and you would like to help and support the work that I do, I have got a Buy Me a Coffee link either above or below this video. And this is a virtual tip jar, so all of your donations will be gratefully received and used in accordance with the spiritual work that I do to help people raise their vibration and ascend on their spiritual pathway. If you'd like to book any of my services, go over to my website, www.glennboddicespiritualmedium.com, or find me on Facebook, Glenn Boddice Spiritual Medium. Join me every Monday with my radio show From Beyond with Glenn Boddice, talking about all things spiritual, paranormal and self-help on www.pulsetalkradio.com. Have a fantastic week, everybody. Bye for now. Well, it sounds like we're all set for a very intriguing week this week, doesn't it? There's lots of guidance there from Spirit, and hopefully you can take that information and it will help you make your way through the twists and turns of this week ahead. So once again, I'd like to thank you for listening. I hope that the information and the channeling from Spirit has helped you in some small way in this episode, and maybe has given you that something to think about so that you can look at your paranormal work, working with energy, and also working with yourself, with your own physical gifts and abilities a little bit differently. Anyway, can I invite you, if you have any questions that you would like to pose towards the show regarding anything around spiritual or self-help or the paranormal world, then it'll be fascinating to hear from you. And if you're all right for me to read your questions out on air and then answer them to the best of my ability and my guide's ability, then please do get in contact by sending me a message to www.glennboddicespiritualmedium.com, or you can email me at glennboddice@live.uk. So whatever it is you're going to be up to this week, as this week's forecast has suggested, make sure you're factoring in time for that reevaluation, rest, recuperation, and so that you're allowing yourself to move into these new subtle changes that are occurring to one and all at this moment in time. I'd like to also invite you to join me next Monday at the same time of 4 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time with this very show, From Beyond with Glenn Boddice, on www.pulsetalkradio.com. So have a fantastic week, everybody, and I look forward to your company in the up-and-coming week. Take care, God bless, and bye for now.
Thank you for
listening to From Beyond. For more information about what products and services Glenn provides, go to Glenn Boddice Spiritual Medium